Hello, I'm Jack and I'm talking to Mica here today for B. We're doing an interview. Mica was representing the UK British Women's Bobsleigh team. So I'm really happy to have her here today at our old school. And how are you doing then? You alright?
I'm good. It's weird to be back
It is.
where we were like this big.
I know, it's so strange. It's from Concert you're from, isn't it? Where you're from?
No, I'm from Highspin.
But it was in school, you went to school in Concert?
I went to school in Durham.
Durham, yeah. Okay, good start. So locally, was there anywhere you were able to practice around here?
Like growing up in development sport and stuff, it's enough, but at like an elite level, it's quite hard in the northeast to train. So at the minute, I'm having to travel and to somewhere else where there's like a performance centre and sports doctors and physios and whatnot. But like when I'm at home, just like for the weekend, seeing family and stuff, I just make do with going to like gyms and whatnot around here and just running on a road or a field or something.
So no cool runnings, like improvised kind of practice?
No,
Downhill.
no, I have to move away. I don't think the cool runnings training would work in high spin.
How does a girl from high spin get into bobsleigh? How does that?
Totally by chance. So I was at school in Durham at the time, and we kind of got invited to try like new things, and it was a taster day. So we travelled down to North Yorkshire, and there's a dry bobsleigh push track, so it's just a bobsleigh on wheels, and you just push it and it hits a bungee at the end and sends you back, so there's no ice or anything like that. And the lady who took the session was world champion at the time for Great Britain. She was called Mica McNeill, and at the end of the session, which was for fun, she said, "You look like you'd be quite good at this. You're strong, you're fast, you could really like work with bobsleigh," and invited me to go and do trials. So I went down to Bath to do trials, didn't really think anything of it, and then got put onto a youth programme. So I was 16 at the time, and there was a Youth Winter Olympics coming up in 2 years, and that programme was to kind of develop young people, and we were at the time the youngest people that were in bobsleigh ever.
Yeah, so you obviously came so far from men, and that was your first ever experience of being in a bobsleigh, that dry track.
Yes, yeah.
And did you just instantly love it as soon as you did it?
Well, I thought it was fun and it really suited me as an athlete. Even though I was still young, I didn't quite know what kind of an athlete I was. I did know that my strengths were that I was quite powerful, and bobsleigh, that's what you need to be. So I definitely thought I have to give it a go, and that's something that I'm going to go and try. And then I got invited on ice for the first time. So we went out to Austria, which was a total chance. They're just taking 4 kids out to Austria who might cry at the end of it and say I want to go home, but they took us out there, and my first run down in a bobsleigh, I was actually a brake person.
Which is that what Mica does now?
Yeah.
It's Mica. Is it Mica or Mica?
She's Mica, yeah.
Mica, yeah, okay.
So I was in the back, and my friend, she's one of my really good friends now, Kirsten, was driving, and we'd done a run down, and I was like, it's alright, kind of thing. Got out, came to the top, and then it was my turn to drive, and she became the brakeman. And as soon as I got to the bottom, I was like, yes, I need to be the driver. This is for me. That was so much fun. There was so much going on, and you feel the speed, and you're in control of the sled. That from that moment, I decided if I'm doing this sport, I'm being a driver. I'm not being a brakewoman. And then it kind of went from there and started developing it.
What does the training scheme look like for you? Do you sort of spread it out evenly, or is it more intense towards competition time?
So it's kind of like it's different throughout the year. So around this point of the year until September, October time, we're training 6 days a week, probably twice a day. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is twice a day, and Wednesday and Saturday is once, and then we only rest on a Sunday, and that's all gym work, sprint training.
So the rest day isn't really a rest day?
The rest day is like
it's not my idea of like hungover on the sofa on Netflix.
Definitely not that kind of a rest day. But yeah, as soon as it gets to kind of October, November time, you start coming into going on ice. So then when we're on ice, the training has to come down a bit so you don't wipe yourself out. So if you imagine doing all of that, but now you're also bobsleighing and remembering these tracks and trying to perfect going down different combinations of corners and travelling, you have to bring the training load down a little bit. And then when it gets to December, January, February, the training becomes all so much easier. You're doing heavy stuff but a short amount of reps, and training sessions become shorter, and you're actually competing, and you start trying to peak for competitions, and that leads to the event, whether that be the Olympics or the World Champs in February, where you want to be in the best shape you can be, you want to feel rested.
Last year, Mica's funding, the team, Mica and Mica, their funding got cut, so it looked as though, like, after all this training, they weren't going to make it to Pyeongchang. So they decided to go to the public and ask for funding, and I think that's one of the really amazing things about your Olympic endeavours, the fact that you had to go through that after sort of facing this really big challenge, as if the bobsleigh isn't a challenge enough. So you find out that your Olympic campaign isn't being funded. What's your first thought? Was it despair? Did you think at first, oh, this is it? Or was it sheer determination?
The very, very first emotion was kind of like sadness and anger, and a little bit of like disappointment, and there was so many questions of why are you doing this to us? Why are you not funding us, but you're funding the men?
Did it feel very us against them sort of thing?
Yeah, it was what happened? How could you possibly overspend a budget? Where's this money gone? Why has there been mismanagement? And we weren't really getting many answers, which was a lot of frustration. But really, within the hour, it kind of turned of, well, clearly they're not interested in doing anything about this. Have to take matters into like my own hands and do something about it. And it kind of shifted really quickly to, right, let's get this done. What can we do? How can we do it? And the kind of process started from there. It's definitely one of those things that, like, our team, like me and Mica, we are just like people, and we're definitely far from divas, and it was so generous, and we were still like so grateful to everyone that they were just so generous to us, and they got nothing in return, and that was the
apart from to
thing.
watch you at the Olympics, which was a pretty, it's a nice exchange, isn't it?
I guess.
When you put out the funding page, what was running through your mind before the first donations came pouring in?
I was quite worried that it wasn't going to work. I was a little bit worried that I might get criticism from it, because it's quite like a brave thing to do, to put yourself out there and say, I think we can do really well, but we really
it's a big chance to take.
It's a big chance to take, and there was so much writing on it that all these people could have donated money. It might disappoint them, but at the same time, it was, do people think we're deserving of this? What happens if we just get abuse saying, like, how dare you ask for money, kind of thing? But luckily, like, the public and family and friends, they were so like understanding and really got behind us and backed us, which was like so uplifting for me and Mica going through the whole season, and we carried that into the Olympics. Like, when we got to Korea, we were like, we know who got us here, and it was so lovely.
Kind of good vibes all around, I think, for everyone.
So we needed £30,000 to kind of get by, to do the qualifications that we needed to get to the games, and we said if we go over that, it's only going to aid performance, so we can eat better, we can stay in better places, not cram like 3 bodies into one tiny room, and kind of help with gym fees and going on a running track rather than running on a road, and all of that kind of thing to help the performance rather than just getting by. But we went over that target, and then it continued into the season when we were out there. People kept donating after, like, we done well the first race, and people started putting money back on the page, and it just helped us kind of get through the season easier. We can afford to get sports massage now. Isn't that great? And that kind of happened.
And these things are all necessary things, aren't they?
Definitely.
I think people forget all of these extras that do cost money.
Yeah, and it's the difference between being kind of a mediocre team and getting on a path to being really successful, and there's so many components. You have to be eating right and sleeping right and resting and getting the right recovery and all of those things. It all adds up, and if we're winning a race by 100th of a second, where you want to find that 100th?
Exactly. It just comes from these little details, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Mica and her teammate got all of the funds that they needed, so obviously it's proven that the public is really in support of you. So has it changed your view of the public? Did you, because you might have had some doubts, like people might think, oh, why would we give them money? But it didn't turn out that way. So has it changed your view of the
I always knew that British people were supportive of their own, but this kind of just really concreted it in for me that British people love their sport and they really, really support their own, and that was so nice. But as British people, we are generous and we are we are supportive, but it was definitely that kind of, it just concreted the thoughts in.
Yeah, excellent. And obviously choosing to be an Olympic athlete, it's not something that, I mean, we went to school together. You're the only Olympic athlete I know, and I know even that's a bit of a rare thing. So, but the experience that you went through was a lot rarer than what other Olympic athletes have gone through.
Yeah.
So it's unique to you and quite fascinating. So do you think that's made you more determined as an athlete?
I mean, definitely these things do come about. Every athlete's going to have their own walls. I feel like our walls this past year have been a little bit higher, but it makes you who you are. And like I said, if this whole thing, the support that we got really did lift me and Mica up and makes you want to work that little bit harder. The challenges that you get, when it goes good, you appreciate it more, and it makes the whole journey so much more worthwhile.
So you and Mica, you got the best British women's Olympic time in bobsleigh, which is obviously an amazing achievement. So what aspirations do you have for Beijing in 2024? No, 2022. Yeah.
No, I definitely want a medal, so that's the plan. I'll be 28, which is kind of where you will peak physically as an athlete.
I'm not looking for 29, that's all I'll be.
But at the same time, we were so close this time on day one. We were 1500ths from a medal on day one, I think it was, and then I made a mistake on day two, which kind of showed my kind of lack of experience to the other girls. The other girls are 5, 6, 7, 8 years older than me, so I'll have that a bit more experience, and the next 4 years I'd love to just develop on that, and I want to definitely be coming back with a medal.
Yeah, thanks for talking to us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good sport. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. I've been Jack, and this has been Misha for Beep.